So my note system, I try to take relevant notes, and I kind of separate those notes by little dashes, and that kind of helps me keep my thoughts organized, and I can just kind of as quick as possible come back and try to figure out and basically just try to figure out like what the guy plays like on a short notice. Like if I'm in another hand and I just want to look at and see what's up. Let me go ahead and end on this hand right here with Ace Jack. The Ace Jack, too it's too weak to go ahead and flat. I think to a middle position raise in a full ring game. But at the same time, I think I mean I could fold it definitely, but if I'm going to be three betting as a bluff, especially in a good spot like this where I have two people behind me that I could just squeeze and it looks pretty strong. I'd rather do it at the top of my range, and this is the top of my folding range. Um, so I think this is a really good spot to do it, and it's going to work pretty well. And even when called, I'll have pretty decent equity. So I go ahead and three bet. It doesn't have to be too big. Just make it a little bit, make it like 3.5. No more than like 4x. That would be too big if you go over that, I think. The reason is because you're in position and you just don't really have to try to get people to fold that often because you're in position. This spot is like good and bad on the top right because I have a pair, obviously, that's always good. It sucks because it's not top pair, but at the same time, I don't really expect this guy to have a king in his range all too often. The reason is because Ace King will probably three bet preflop, and King Queen probably doesn't call three bets. Like I don't really know this guy that well, but usually people play kind of like that. Um, so I'm usually just not going to really put too many kings in his range, and King Jack is really rare too because he'll probably just fold that. And on top of that, I have two jacks and or there's two jacks on the board, like one in my hand, one on the board, and there's a king already out there, so it's kind of rare. Um, in the top left, I like it is I have essentially top pair second best kicker. I mean the jack rolled off, no one bet the flop, so I'm really I'm really liking my hand right here. Bottom left, I have top pair top kicker against this guy who's really crazy. So I think it's a pretty easy spot to just like bet and probably stack off if he shoves. So that's kind of my plan right there. And then on the top left, no one bet the flop, and then they called the turn. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep betting for value. I think they're gonna have a lot of draws, but I want to get value from worse pairs and like 10x. There's not that many really, but I feel like I need to go for value. With Ace Jack, he goes ahead and pots out, which seems kind of weird to me. Like the board is really wet, so I think he's gonna have um, all sorts of hands. But I don't. Again, like I don't really don't put like a king in his range that often, so it just seems kind of weird to me. I think he's gonna have. He's mostly just gonna have like draws. And like sets, and I don't know, people can be really spazzy in these games, so I'm kind of happy with my hand. Like I'm gonna call here and kind of evaluate, and the river's a total brick, so um, I don't know. It just looks really weird to me. At the bottom left, I have to sorry, let me come back to this. The top right here, it's kind of weird and it's kind of like a sucky spot, but I think given my reads that he's not going to have too many king x in his range, he's probably not going to have pocket sixes too often, and he's probably not going to have pocket tens too often. I think this guy does flat a lot of like queen x and suited connectors and ace x type hands. So you know I'm not too happy with this, but um, I only have to be right like half the time for this to be a profitable call. So I or not half the time, less than that. So I'm happy with just going ahead and calling. So go ahead and call, and he shows 7 high, which I think is pretty good, and that's kind of the reason why I call is because he's gonna have so much stuff in his range. He'll have like 7 high and just weird stuff. Like he's playing 61% of his hands, so when I have second pair top kicker, I'm pretty happy. I mean, he could, I guess, technically have like King X in his range if he's playing like 7-5. He could probably have like, you know, all sorts of weak kings and stuff, but at the same time, like the type of King X's that will mostly be in his range are like King Queen, King Jack, King 10, and all those cards are kind of like out on the board, so it makes less combinations of those. So I think that given all the like the draws and stuff, and just the fact that he could be spazzing, I'm really happy to just like I'm not really happy, but I'm okay just looking him up once to see what's going on. Just given my reads, both pre-flop and on the flop. The bottom left, I decided to check the turn because the guy is spazzy. Like whenever you know, I just seen him like I just kept seeing him open shove, so I figured if I showed him some weakness, he would just like open shove as a bluff sometimes. He didn't. He decided not to do that, so I figure on the river here, I just need a bet for value. If he doesn't bet, he probably has some sort of like weak showdown value, like some sort of smaller pair, or maybe he had some sort of flush draw, but I think he would have bet that on the turn. He might have like a king sometimes, but I think most of the time he's gonna have marginal showdown value, and then uh, he'll probably look me up on the river. Yeah, and he ends up just floating me with ace high, and he ended up hitting third pair on the turn. So uh, sounds about right. Let me go ahead and wrap up. I think I said I'd wrap it up, but let me go ahead and wrap it up on this pocket nines hand. I can't remember what happens here. Oh yeah, this short stack just goes ahead and ships. I don't really know too much about this guy, but I don't think it's profitable necessarily to call it off here with pocket nines. So I'll just go ahead and fold. I'd probably call off like jacks plus. The reason is because he has that pink logo, so he's like not a very good reg, but he's not like super spazzy either. So I think if he does something like this, it's gonna be with a decent hand, and I don't think he'll ship with less than nines. Like I don't think he'll ship with like eights or sevens or something. I think most of them are gonna be flipping or completely dominated. So I'm happy to just go ahead and fold here. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It wasn't meant to be anything long or profound or anything. It was just kind of me testing out high definition on YouTube, see if you guys could actually see the stats and everything. You'll probably have to like view this in full screen, but that should be no problem. If you guys like this, please go ahead and click subscribe up in the top left, and also be sure to go down below in the comment section to nitreg.com. I have the link down there. Go ahead there and sign up. Sign up for the email. I'll send you all the updates. It has awesome poker strategy, at least I think. Put a lot of work into it, and I think a lot of you guys will like it. So go ahead and check that out if you guys have the time. That being said, it's Nitreg from nitreg.com, and I'll see you guys later.